Okay, this video is about the construction of the Rise and Go Teardrop trailer. And we're going to start, we've already done the basic electrical charging system, and we've done the floor, and we've done the cabinets. After the cabinets were done, then we needed to put the walls up, okay, and screw them into the cabinet, as you see we have here. But before that, we had to make our walls. So in order to get the shape for the walls, I took a piece of bendable, flexible molding and molded it to the shape I wanted it, like that. And then once you do that, then you go ahead and mark it, and you proceed to cut out something like this, a template. And this is out of MDF, and this is for the back, of course. And once you make your template, then you go ahead and apply it to your 3/4 inch birch plywood. And you go ahead and you cut your shape out. Now the walls are put together, okay, with biscuit joiner. So we have biscuits in between there, and they're sandwiched together, very strong. When we lifted the plywood up, I would say it would break over here before it would break there. So that was done. The next thing is we put these walls up, and when we did, we just put big screws underneath. They're more or less hidden by this flashing, which I'll get to in a bit. But and in between them, we cut some Baltic birch, 1.5 inches and it's 3/4 inch thick by the width between the walls, and we used a couple of pocket holes in each end of it to install those to the walls, so we don't have the screws all the way, but it just makes a very strong joint. And I was able to clamp it with a big pipe clamp, and I just clamped it down tight so it didn't move when I put the spurs in. We did that, and then the next thing we did before we put the walls up, we took a router and we routed a groove about 1 3/4 inches down from the top, somewhere pretty close to that. Little wider on the curves, little less on the straight. 1 3/4 inches on the straight, but it gets a little wider as you go on the curves. And we just routed a groove in here, 3/8 of an inch deep and 1/8 inch. So nice thin groove. And once we got the spurs in, then we took some of this 1/8 inch birch, which is very pliable, bends pretty well. Okay, and we took that and we put that in the groove, and what I did was I took this groove out over here, and then I slide this birch in all the way down, all the way around. Where it goes around, it gets really solid. Where it didn't go around, I ended up adding an extra spar or two so we could fasten it pretty solid. But in the end, it come out really nice on the interior. We won't need any molding around it or anything like that because it just sits right in that tight little groove. I did sand the edges, put soap on them, sand on the groove real good to make sure it was nice and smooth. And with that done, it did slide in. Not without some difficulty, but it did work. So once that was in, then we went ahead and added 1 inch of foam, and then we cut grooves in it for our wiring, and we put in our electrical wiring where we needed it. You can see a piece of tape here. I have this is where a porch light is going. And once we did that, then we put this Baltic birch across the top. It comes in, and it's stapled down, and it comes in 5 foot wide sheets, so it was able to cover the whole top. Then you just run a router on the edge route it. In fact, it's a little bigger than 5/8. And so So once that's on, of course, we put 3/4 on top of the wiring. And once that's on, pretty secure. Well, I've drilled or used a 3-inch hole saw right here. And because that's where the wiring for the for the porch light is. And same on the other side. And what happens is once I get the aluminum sheet on here, I will drill through from the back side and put the porch light in, and then just put a piece of tape over this, okay, to hold it back together so it doesn't blow away. And in here I have put the door frame already, and all I need to do now is to fit the door to this, make sure it fits well, and the door closes and seals and everything else. And then I'll just take that off, and we're going to start putting the aluminum on it. But anyway, I thought I'd update you on where I'm at. The hatch has been covered on the outside with wood. The inside I'm going to do once everything else is done. That's one of the last things I'll work on. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do there, but when we covered it with wood, it was made out of this 3/4 inch Baltic birch, and I have one on each end of a spar, and then two in between. And I was worried about it, trying to take the curve out of it. So when I put the wood down, I put a big old strap around it, or a couple of straps and around it, to hold it and to keep that wood in position. And then when I took the straps off, it didn't change very much, about as same amount as when I sucked it down. So hopefully we're going to be okay there. And as I say, we got to put aluminum on here. We got to finish the electrical wiring, and then the doors and the drawers to finish the product. So anyway, just a short video, and I hope it works for you and upgrades and give you some ideas and everything else. Until next time, just keep on working on them. Thanks a lot. Thank you for watching.